The purpose of this screencast is to show you how to download the GeoGebra web app, to show you how to find the centroid of a triangle, and to show you how to save your GeoGebra file to Google Drive. First, to download the web app, go to your web store, your Chrome web store. In the search bar, type in GeoGebra, G-E-O-G-E-B-R-A. I already have the web app, so it doesn't allow me to download it, but if you don't have it already, this will be a blue button that says free. Since I already have the GeoGebra web app, I'm going to launch it from here. A few features within GeoGebra. To create a new file, click on File and New. If you have an existing file, you can open it. Under Edit, you have the option of undoing and redoing. In this case, we're going to be using a blank screen. So since I'm already on my arrow button here, I'm going to click on the little arrow next to Graphics, and I'm going to get rid of these axes by clicking on this button right here. So this button right here hides and shows the axes. I also have the option here of showing and hiding a grid. But right now I just want a blank screen, so I'm going to hide everything. And now I'm ready to create my triangle. So to create a triangle, you start off with 3 points. So let's click here on Point and lay out 3 points. Doesn't matter where you put them as long as it kind of looks like a triangle. And now let's connect those points. We're going to connect them with segments. So come back up here, click on the drop down, and click on Segment. Now to create a segment, I'm going to click and release on A, then come down to B, click and release. Click and release on B, go over to C, click and release. Now I'm ready to connect A and C, so I click on one vertex and come over to the other. Again, each time you're going to click and then release your mouse pad. Now, to find the center of this triangle, I need to find the midpoints of each of these segments. GeoGebra has a wonderful tool under Points. When I click on this arrow, it gives me the option of midpoint. So I'm going to click on that. And to find the midpoint of segment AB, I'm going to click and release on A, then click and release on B. And that gives me this new point, D. Now I want to find the midpoint of BC, so click on B, release, and go over to C, click and release. To find the segment of the midpoint of segment AC, click on A, release, click on C, release. And that gives me my midpoint. I don't like how this is overlapping where I can't really see point C, so I can click on my pointer button, go over to ABC, my text, and that will allow me to move where my text is written. If I wanted to make that larger, I can also click on Options, Font Size, and make that a larger font. Now I've found the centers for each of these line segments, but that still doesn't tell me where the center of the triangle is. To find the center of the triangle, I come back up to my segment tool and I connect one of my midpoints to the vertex that's opposite it. Again, I'm going to click on my midpoint, click and release, come over to the vertex that's opposite the midpoint, click and release. And I do the same thing with this point, click and release, come over to the point that is opposite that midpoint, click and release. And right here, this is where the center of my triangle is. I'll go up to my tools, go up to Points, and click on Intersect, and I'm going to mark that point right there. So now point G is where the intersection or where the centroid of triangle ABC is. For any of my blue letters, I can click on my mouse and drag any of those blue letters, and it will allow me to still know where the center of my triangle is, because no matter where I move any of these points, it will always have point G, which is the center of my triangle. Now I'm ready to save this GeoGebra file. I first need to sign in using Google, so I click sign in. I'm going to sign in with Google. If it's your first time signing in with Google, it will ask you to accept some of the restrictions. I've already done that, so I can go ahead and sign in using my password. Make sure you have your school email address here, and then click sign in. Now I can go up to File, Save As, and I'm going to save as a Google Drive. For this particular file, I want to name it my period. So if I'm in period 2B, I'll name it that. And the topic, again, was centroid of a triangle. So I'm going to type in centroid of a triangle. And then click to Google Drive, save to Google Drive. And now my file has been saved to Google Drive. If I close this file out, I can open it again from Google Drive. I can see that the file is right here. And I can open it, and I'm back to the file that I had originally.